guys, welcome to Hang Milk House 2, Glory of God.
Hey, we are going to clean off the bookshelf, and we are going to pick out some books that we don't read that are still good books that someone else might take an interest in. So if you see a book that you want that I'm putting in the giveaway pile, not if you just see a book on my shelf, I'm not giving away all my books, but if you see a book you want that I'm saying, here, I'm giving it away, comment below, and the first person to comment will send them media mail to you. So you might hear kids because we have some kids doing schoolwork and coloring and such here in the room. The baby is watching a sign language thing with Virginia. One person's taking a shower and one person's doing other school. So we're gonna clean. Mark's gonna help me.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we've got this little Eric Liddell book. The kids like it, so we're gonna keep it. These, The 9 Marks of a Healthy Church. We enjoyed this series, right?
Enjoyed it.
Are we keeping this series? This is going to be hard for Mark and I because both of us like books, but Mark isn't much of a reader, so they just sit on the shelf if Mark's the one who's...
I have more visual problems lately. Like I read the Bible at the breakfast table,
And his
this
eyes
morning,
water the whole time.
My eyes have a really hard time reading. I don't know why.
We don't necessarily agree with everything in these books, but overall they're good.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, good books that I'm not putting 100% seal of approval on. I'm not going to give a disclaimer for every single book, certainly.
And there are books that we might find on the shelf that we say, no, that's too heretical. We aren't going to give that away.
Yes, we do have a heretical garbage for research purposes
That's over
on the
there
shelf.
on the little... No,
Over
next.
here.
Nope, next. Well, that one, sorry, that book's
That
there.
one.
Over on the little bookshelf.
On the little bookshelf. Yes, we have some other... Well, we have heretical garbage on our shelf.
Okay,
But anyway.
so are you going to use these again?
No.
Okay.
Give them to someone.
These will be given. We will make at the end, here's the giveaway pile so that you guys can know. Weed in the Church. We're just going to talk about books as we go. Very good book about how youth ministry has taken over our churches and therefore young people don't know what church is really supposed to look like because they're kind of their own separate church, and we make a whole bunch of problems by having a youth leader and youth group and all that stuff.
Like parents not actually teaching their own children and thinking it's someone else's job.
Right. So that book's by Scott Brown and what's the thing called?
I don't know what they're calling it now.
NCFIC.
Used to
is
be
what it used to
National Center for Family Integrated Churches. They've recently changed their name. Can't remember the name. Scott Brown. Look it up. Good book.
Abigail's working on her schoolwork. She wanted me to show.
Working on schoolwork.
She had to show what she would wear during different temperatures
Ooh.
And what I would do.
and what you would do.
Oh, very
So,
good.
good
Very
job.
good.
We got some mail. Okay.
Yeah.
Knowledge of the Holy. Good book.
Haven't read it.
Do you want to keep it on the shelf? I'm okay with keeping some books on the
Yes.
shelf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. Very good book. Holiness by J.C. Ralph. Good book. Chosen by God. Exceptionally good book. Read it. If you haven't, go read it.
It's a little hard, just so you know. His writing style is a little tough to get through, but it's really good. Does that
Good
make
stuff.
sense? It's very good. So even if you start it and you're like, this is tough, keep going. It's good.
Made for His Pleasure. You're gonna have to say what it is.
Oh,
'cause I
sorry.
can't even
Made for
see it
His
in camera.
Pleasure. 10 Benchmarks of a Vital Faith. Alistair Begg.
Good book.
Good book. Listen Up. Guide to Listening to Sermons.
This is actually kind of good.
Okay, we got that from a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yep.
Bobby and family. It can be done.
Haven't read it yet.
Keep it.
Gave it.
Okay. Meeting of the Assemblies.
Yeah, no one else
By
is interested in that.
R.K. Campbell. This
Yeah.
is when we were meeting with the Plymouth Brethren Assemblies, and they have
Mm-hmm.
some really good ways that they meet. We don't agree with all of their theology necessarily, but very good ways they meet. Divine Art of Soul Winning.
You know what? I don't know why I picked up that book. I think it was probably a heretical garbage book that didn't go in the right...
We're going to throw it
I
in the
don't
trash.
know if it is or not.
We're
I'll
not
have to
keeping
look at it.
every book. So after this, we'll put in a secondary video of when we'll make sure where these are all books we're getting rid of and are safe to give away.
You can't get rid of that one.
What He Must Be. Very good book. It doesn't really fit on this shelf.
What He Must Be by Bodhi Botham. Good book.
Yeah. Joseph and the Gospel in Many Colors.
Even
Again,
better book.
Yes,
Great book.
That's good.
it is. It's a good book. Holiness of God
Absolutely awesome book.
by R.C. Sproul. When You Rise Up. Okay, funny thing about this book. Okay, When You Rise Up by R.C. Sproul Jr. I read this a long time ago, like 15 or more years ago. I don't even know what year it was written, so maybe I'm lying by when I read it, depending on its copyright date. What's its copyright date? 2001. Okay.
Yeah.
So I read this probably 15 years ago when we started homeschooling, and it's a great talk about why we should homeschool and we should teach math, not because we want our kid to get into Harvard, but because we want our kid to know that math was made by God and the world works in a certain way because God made it. Very good book. I recommended this book one time and someone told me, you can't recommend that book. R.C. Sproul Jr. is a Calvinist. And I didn't even know what a Calvinist was at that time, and I did not get that from this book. And now I would agree that that's good that he's a Calvinist. But even as a non-Calvinist, I didn't see that because I was looking at the homeschool portion of this. Maybe if I read it again.
It's just a good book.
It's just a good book. You can read books by people that you don't totally agree with, and their books can still be okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Give them grace. I have not read this book.
Highly recommended by other people. I always struggle with those kind of books.
We struggle with parenting books, not because we feel like we've totally understand everything, but because sometimes the people who hand us the parenting book have children that I do not want my children being like. I don't remember who gave us this, so I'm not saying it about this person, but we've had people who have given us, let's say the book To Train Up a Child was given to us by someone that I was like, I do not want my children to be like you. And there was a Ted Tripp book. I have seen some Ted Tripp and Paul Tripp books, and I agree with some of the stuff they say. I'm not totally ruling them out, but the person who suggested that book to me turned me off to Shepherding a Child's Heart or whatever it was, because of how their children acted.
Paul Tripp's other book is sitting right there.
Okay, yes. So, this one. So I'm not saying...
Paul David Tripp, not Ted Tripp.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the books are bad. I'm saying that I was turned off because of the person who suggested it. It's kind of like if someone suggests a fashion book to you and all they ever wear is a brown tent, you'd be like, yeah, I don't really want your fashion advice. So, I'm not sure we're keeping?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we're keeping.
But somebody wants it real bad.
Okay, this book.
Speaking of hard reading.
Well, it's a good book, but it's definitely a hard read.
Yeah.
But we'll keep. It was good. Bound for Glory, R.C. Sproul Jr.
Oh, very, very good book.
This one's good. It kind of goes along with the When You Rise Up book. But this is more about just family in general, not necessarily homeschooling per se, as family. Good book. William MacDonald, he was an assembly from Plymouth Brethren Assemblies, but this is a bunch of short stories of how God worked in people's lives.
Very good book.
Another by him, My Heart, My Life, My All. I haven't read this one.
Another very good book.
Another very good book. Okay. Christian Modesty and the Public Undressing of America by Jeff Pollard. Good
That's
book?
actually a very good book, yeah.
I've read parts of it. I have not read that whole book. Okay, we come to this section. The Free Grace Broadcaster. We can keep if you want, but we don't have to because you can get them all online.
You can read them all online for free, and they will send you even back copies of them for free if you ask for them. So I'm not going to pay to send these to someone, and I do paw through them from time to time, but...
This is Chapel Library in Pensacola, Florida, and they have a lot of really good resources, and they give resources away for free. Look them up. You can also do, like, courses through Chapel Library.
Gospel tracts, the Mount Zion Bible Institute. They do all kinds of good stuff.
And these are mostly older people, like, from long ago. So this one's about death and dying, and, like, David Martin Lloyd-Jones, Charles Spurgeon, older people.
Yes.
But they're all really, really good, and there's a new one every month. No, every quarter.
I think.
Every quarter. They're good. But you can read them online, so go look those up. Or go to them and ask for them. Another free resource I'll mention right now while we're going through. ICR is Institute for Creation Research, and they do a free, I think it's every other month, magazine.
Monthly.
Is it monthly? Yep. Okay, that you get, it tells the latest science. It's not very long. It's only like 12 to 16 pages or something like that. But it's a really good resource, and it's free. They've got a lot of good stuff, too. This is really good. This was from the Assemblies, I'm pretty sure. But it's little stories of being hospitable. And I found it really good, and it's got recipes. Keeping that. Henderson. Warren Henderson, Glory Seen and Unseen.
Pretty decent book. Not from a Reformed perspective by any means, but probably this was one of the better books that informed our understanding of head covering and the biblical practice. You know, besides reading the Bible and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I'm putting some down here on the shelf because my arms are going to get tired if I stand like this all day. Okay. So, I'm going to turn it over backwards because you can put them the way they were. There's no real order up here. Okay, Feminine by Design by Scott Brown. It's about being a woman. And it's a good book. Oh, Virginia's going to read it. There we go.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, not
The Bible, Myth and Divine Truth by Warren Henderson. That guy.
Yep, good book. Good little book. Booklet. We used to give those away to people.
Safely Home by Tom Eldridge.
No idea.
Okay. Keep or not keep?
Keep, make somebody else read it. Assigned to the children.
No Longer a Slumdog. Bringing Hope to Children in Crisis.
You're a slim dog.
No idea.
No, I
I don't think it's up our alley.
I don't think it's something I'm going to reread. I think I've read it in the past. I think it just talks about how to bring the gospel to children in other countries. But
Want a free copy? Comment on this video.
okay.
He was the one that did the video. He was in the video Behind the Veil of Tears.
Yes, here's another book by the same guy, The Road to Reality. Do you find it yourself conforming to the culture rather than transforming it? Do you ever wonder, is what Christ meant by follow me? So, I'm going to say it's from Revolution in World Missions. That's one of his books, Revolution in World Missions. Yeah, Gospel for Asia. So, those two books can go together. And another. There you go.
Make it 3.
If you want KP Yohanan books, we got a whole section right there. Alexander Stott. You want to say anything about him?
Ooh, the Hospitality Commands. I didn't see that one before because we have many of Alex's books, and they are all good.
His others. Oh, there's another one.
Yep. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
Look at that.
Okay,
Let me take that.
so
Okay.
by him, we're not giving these away. If You Bite and Devour One Another,
Very good book.
Handling Conflict,
Yes.
Biblical Eldership, and what biblical eldership should look like, Leading with Love, and Alexander Stott. The Hospitality Commands by him.
Those are all really good. I've never read anything by Alex Stott that I didn't like.
We've been reading a lot about love. Leading with love, understanding love, like you guys were talking about that with the Blevins and those people. Okay,
That's the one.
that's the next one. Thank you. Robert Louis Dabney. Keep, not keep.
Put it in the not keep pile, but I'm not going to pay to give that one away.
Okay.
That goes up with the,
Who's that?
Sorry, it's getting shoved in there.
Charity and Fruits. I think Jonathan Edwards.
The Duties of Parents by J.C. Ryle.
Ooh, good little booklet. Yes, helpful, handy.
Don't I have a Ryle book up here? I do.
Yep, J.C. Ryle. You get 2 of those, I think.
Okay. The Head of Every Man and
Another
a Woman's
head
Veil.
covering booklet, and then this one is actually just
Songs.
it's like a mini hymn book.
We had used it for something.
Church plant at the Scarborough House.
So it's got
There's a
some
lot
good.
of good songs.
Can you
in
put
it.
that
It's
down
a
with our hymn books?
Little mini hymnal.
Okay, head covering. Head covering, head covering.
Warren Henderson.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, what else we got?
Woman's Place in the Home? Are Christian women commanded to have domestic priorities?
I've not read that one.
I think I read this and I think it was good. It's like,
Old.
yeah. But
Not quite mimeograph, but close.
I'm going to keep it. Truth of Headship.
Good.
Symbolic Practice by Stephen Holsheiser.
Yep.
Something that I covered with.
Ooh, this is a good little booklet. Who is that from?
Carl Knott.
Okay, this is a good little book that talks about how we view the support of Christian missionaries, whether they be foreign, domestic, full-time, part-time, elders in the local church, stuff like that. Very good. Obviously, it's very thin. It's like, 12 pages or something. It's not long, but it's a good introduction to the topic of how we should be thinking about financially and materially taking care of people who serve God.
Yeah, that's okay. That can stay right there. Okay, the Challenge of Change in Assembly Missions. We're going to get rid of that one.
Yeah, we'll probably get rid of that one. It's a good little
We're not
booklet.
gonna send
I
it,
just don't
but-
think we need to keep it. Yep.
5 Points Calvinism.
Who's that by?
W.J. Seaton.
I have no idea. I think I've read it before. I think it's a little synopsis.
Are we keeping? Getting
We'll
rid
keep.
of? We're keeping.
Yep.
Okay, Morning and Evening.
Morning and Evening by You know what? You can get this online, emailed to you or messaged to you, or you can just read it or whatever, and that's a really big book to set on
It's
a shelf
good.
that we just never read.
There's nothing wrong with it. We're just trying to make sure that the books that we have are books that we actually are going to use and that we're not just taking up space on our shelves. And this is one that would just take up space.
Yep.
We're going to donate this to the local thrift store.
Okay. Beautiful.
Okay, donate.
It's a heavy one to send. R.C. Sproul.
Yeah, that's actually like an evangelistic little booklet from R.C. Sproul. Very good.
Okay.
Good little one. I read it long before I thought R.C. Sproul knew anything.
7 Reasons You Can Trust the Bible.
Erwin Lutzer. Good Bible. Good book. Keep it.
Good Bible.
Bible.
By this standard.
Oh,
By
okay.
Bahnsen.
Greg Bahnsen.
Greg Bahnsen, yes.
Very good read. Very kind of heavy kind of read.
Yeah.
Get your brain in gear before you pick that
I
book.
found a book I was looking for the other day. Yay. Okay. Church in the House. This is a really good one. Matthew Henry, Restoring Daily Worship in a Christian Household. Do you remember reading this?
I do, and it's very good, and I think it's very important.
Yes.
A Church in the House, yes. Restoring Daily Worship, yes.
Thoughts for Young Men by J.C. Ryle.
Oh, exceptional.
Probably
book.
about the time you could go through that with Samuel.
Probably.
Should I take it down and put it on your...
Pull it down, sticker or something.
Put it on your
I'm
desk?
actually going to read it, yes.
Put it on Daddy's desk. Okay, this is what I was looking for the other day. It's a New England primer. It's pronounced primer. I know it looks like primer, but it's pronounced primer. And it goes through the letters of the alphabet. And then the Lord's Prayer. Maybe we have different...
It's like a tiny little catechism book.
It's what they used to use. It does have a catechism in here. And you can see the reason,
Yeah.
because of how they wrote it.
Type text, yeah.
So I was looking for this the other day because we were talking about it for something. And I was like, oh, we had that little book and I couldn't find it. So I'm going to put it here for now to see why I wanted it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just
New Testament Church Dynamics.
that was given to me by the author, Steve Atkerson, just less than a year ago.
Oh, that's right. You haven't read
And
that
I
yet.
haven't
Do you
read
want it
all
down?
of it yet. No, because
Okay.
I have a couple other things going on.
Hiding God.
You know what? That's been sitting on the shelf for a while. Toss it. Or donate it to, it could be a donation, but
Donate?
not a send away.
We're not a send away book. Okay. Oh, hold on.
Do not want your own to
In Search of God.
Also to that same pile. Yep.
Law of Christ.
Law of Christ. Good book by Charles Leiter, given to us by a friend. I think a couple people in our family need to read that book.
Oh, sorry. God Has a Wonderful Plan for Your Life by Ray Comfort.
That's a good
He's
little
saying
booklet.
that's a myth. That's a myth.
They give these books away or periodically, and I think you can read the PDF copy for free online. It's a basic Ray Comfort kind of book, but I think that would be good to keep for some of our younger people to read.
I think we've seen this.
A Certain Sound.
Oh yeah, by Scott Smith and Ryan Denton, our friends, talking about the need for proclaiming God's word in the open air preaching.
Okay.
Very, very
We're
good.
going to have to make this in multiple sections because it's going to be really
Yeah.
long. Okay, Grace Malley, Will Our Generation Speak? If you have heard about the Malleys before, they also wrote a book. The kids wrote a book, Making Brothers and Sisters Best Friends, which was mostly by her older sister. Grace Malley then did this evangelism one, which is very good. And their parents, like they used to travel and do instrumental music and stuff like that. So you've probably heard of them.
What's
before.
the ministry? Bright Lights.
Bright Lights is, they did a girls ministry where they'd have groups within homes to teach about young womanhood.
Yeah, so very good book. She sent that
it.
to me years ago, and very good book.
Okay.
What?
Fair Sunshine. I don't know if you want to keep this or not. This one it's a good book, but I don't know that any of us are reading it. But if you would like to keep it,
It's kind of a hard read, but it's a good read.
it's character studies about different Scottish Covenanters. Keep, not keep. Some of these are hard decisions.
Keep. If it's a hard decision, I'm going to say keep.
One thing you can't do in heaven.
You could put that in the. Yeah. We're not sure what we're going to do with the Mark Cahill books because I think the book was good, but I haven't read it in a while, and since then he's kind of gone off the rails.
Yes, there are some things we do not agree with about Mark Cahill, but he's very enthusiastic about evangelism and did some great stuff. Okay, The Puzzle of Ancient Man. We're going to keep this. Donald Chittick.
Yes, not all entirely accurate stuff, but some very interesting things about past civilizations.
Yes.
There's some good archaeology and history there. Lost Treasures in Genesis, Nathaniel Jeanson. Short little book, but very good.
This is Institute for Creation Research, which I was saying they had the free stuff.
He's actually with Answers in Genesis now.
Yes, they move around between those.
Yes, the scientists seem to bobble around a bit.
Okay, what? Oh, he wants
working.
to show the picture.
It's a very nice picture.
This is a dog and this is a giraffe.
Very good.
Abigail and Neil, what happened? Does she want to go get the mail with you? No? Okay. So we've got this book, Wait Till It's Free, by Colin Gunn, and it's about healthcare and like how Canadians have their healthcare and you have to wait months to be able to get surgery because it's paid for by the government. There's a video that goes with it. It's very good.
It's very good,
keeping the
but I
book.
think I've gleaned everything I can from it. I will gladly send the book and that DVD to someone if they want it.
Okay.
Talk about taking control of your own healthcare.
It's very good. Very good. And they are a large family. And he's fun to listen to because he's Scottish. Is that? I don't know.
Sure.
He's not from here. And so he's got a very cool accent. I just forget if it was Scotland. We have different people we know from different places. Okay. Already Gone by Ken Ham. I think we've gleaned what we need to from this.
Yes, we're
but
glad
it's
to
a
give
good
it
book.
away.
Okay, so if somebody wants this book, again, we'll go through these books again. Indoctrination is a very good book, and I'm keeping this.
Yes, very good book.
But this is by Colin Gunn again, and it talks about the public schools and how they're moving away from Christianity, and there's a lot of different articles in here.
Yes.
You can go online and look for indoctrination, and there's part of a video. They did like a DVD about this, and so you can find parts of it online on YouTube. How much space we're getting on the shelf? That book doesn't really fit. Okay.
Okay.
Christian Survey of the Old Testament.
Did you give that to one of the kids to read? Or
We did. It's the chapel library.
Chapel Library.
Yeah.
Sounds like a keeper.
Okay. J.C. Ryle. The Agency That Transformed a Nation. Lessons from the Great Awakening.
Oh, cute little book. You did a book there. I'm going to keep it, and I'm not sending it out anywhere.
Afterlife by Warren Henderson.
You know what? That can go in there. I'm not really sure about that
Okay.
file.
I don't know. We haven't read it for a while. I don't know if we agree.
Yeah, that can go in the file.
I thought it said Pastor Jeffrey. You've Been Lied To is
from AHA.
by AHA. We do not agree with everything AHA promotes.
But
this is actually very good. It talks about abortion. There's some not okay pictures for little people, but about life and death. So we're going to put it back up on the top shelf for the little ones to not get. Okay, we're going to do one more shelf and then we're going to turn it into another video.
Okay.
Okay. Keepers at Home I'm going to get rid of. So this is a group you can do, and it's got like different things to work on, knowledge and skills, handicrafts, that type of thing. I don't think it's profitable for our family. We are learning these types of things. I'm just not going to keep the book. So it's going to the local thrift store. This set of books is very good. History Lives by Mindy and Brandon Withrow. And it tells different stories about people through church history. So it goes all the way back to the very start.
Yeah,
like
Irenaeus and
yeah,
those kind of
it
people.
goes back to like the disciples.
Yes.
Starts with Paul.
And
Starts
then
with
it goes up to, I don't know the last one, but much more modern day.
Very good series.
Little Boy Down the Road by Doug Phillips. It's a very good one about family life.
It is.
Um,
Very good.
There are some things, this is one of those authors that if you look up about Doug Phillips, you might find some bad things online about him. Some might be true, some might not be, but
The book is
there's
very good.
definitely things you can glean from his teaching. So this set of books is our Lamplighter. If you've never heard of Lamplighter, go look them up. They take old books like 1768, 1861, 1611. They put it into more modern English and make sure that it is a very good gospel message, very thorough, complete gospel message, and then rebind the books. And the books are very, very good. They also have audio versions. And you can sometimes find these books marked down as like seconds and stuff. We even found one at a secondhand store. This one, secondhand store down in Florida. So,
If
very
you
good
want to
books.
donate any Lamplighter books to our collection, we'll gladly take them.
Lamplighter is amazing. Okay. Jim Elliot, if you don't know the story of Jim Elliot, go look it up. It's great. Keeping that book. Tortured for Christ by Richard Wormbrand.
Very
Keeping?
good.
Yes.
Yep.
Very good book. Arthur Pink.
A.W. Pink, Heroes of Faith. I have not read it, but that looks like something I should have picked up a long time ago.
I wonder if it's a chapel library book. I'm wondering if Samuel would enjoy that book if we have to check its reading level. What?
Yeah,
Samuel's a very good reader, but some books that are older are hard even for adults to get. Okay, Portraits of a Radical Disciple, John Stott's Life and Ministry. I didn't even know we had this book.
I have not read that.
Keep?
Yes, it would be good to read. I'm having a hard time reading.
ICR, Noah's Ark, Adventures at Ararat by John Morris.
Very cool.
So-
His real stories of him climbing Ararat multiple
And getting
times.
struck by lightning multiple times. Very good. Look him up too. Okay.
He climbed 7 times. He didn't get struck by lightning 7 times. Right?
He got struck by lightning,
What is lightning?
I think, a couple times.
Really?
Okay, George Mueller.
Ouch.
If you don't know George Mueller,
Grow up.
very interesting story about prayer, his prayer life and everything. It has influenced many, many people.
He was also Plymouth Brethren.
Okay, these are some Voice of the Martyr things. If Virginia wants those, she can keep them, but we won't keep them on the shelf. Okay, Son of the Underground. If you've never read Brother Yoon, who wrote The Heavenly Man, he's a little more charismatic than we are, but a very interesting story of a newer day Christian, like still alive today, Christian who was persecuted for his faith in China, actually ended up in jail. And this is about his son, who was his son born right after he went to jail? Like he didn't know his
I believe so.
son for a while there. Good book. Restricted Nations. These are by Voice of the Martyrs. We enjoy a lot of the Voice of the Martyrs things. Originally started by Richard Wurmbrand, who was from Romania, was persecuted for his faith, and it's an organization that helps people who have been persecuted for their faith or their families with the things they need. This book about Pocahontas, the kids have read once, but I don't think we're going to keep it. I'm going to give it to the local thrift store. Okay, these books are all by, it's Christian Heroes Then and Now, by Janet and Jeff Benji. Some of them are Heroes of History. They had a whole series about missionaries and things like that, and then they did one about American heroes. So that one's the
All
Heroes
very
of
good,
History.
right?
They're all very good, yes. They're by YWAM, so we don't necessarily agree with all of the theology in them, but I think that they're very good that the kids can read them. Change for the Better.
I have no idea what that book is.
I don't either. We're going to put it in the
Sounds like a thrift store.
thrift store pile. Okay, so this isn't a Christian thing, but I kept it because it was on a friend's shelf. This is about Ecuador, but it's about the year, like it's Ecuador in the year that Jim Elliot was there. And I just found that very interesting. So it's like their guide to why you should come visit Ecuador.
So learn
the
more
American
about the history and the culture.
Geographical Society in 1956.
Yeah, they were killed in 56.
So I thought that was interesting, so I kept
Cool.
it. Okay. Fanny Crosby, if you don't know about Fanny Crosby.
Franny Cosby. Oh, what?
Fanny Crosby
Oh, that's
wrote a whole bunch of hymns. She was blind, and her hymns talk a lot about sight, and it's very interesting.
We sing a lot of her hymns.
We do.
I read that and I don't think I agreed with everything in it, but
Okay, Naomi says she didn't agree with everything.
Okay, so here's our disclaimer for the 17th time. We don't necessarily agree with everything in every book.
Right.
Next victim.
Adventure of Missionary Heroism. This is a very interesting book. It talks about all kinds of interesting things missionaries have learned about in the past in different places.
Very, very like hero adventure kind of thing. It was actually originally called The Romance of Missionary Heroism.
Yeah.
But the term romance has changed a bit. So
Yeah, it didn't
it's
really
the
mean
adventures
romance.
now.
Okay, In the Presence of My Enemies, Gracia Burnham, her and her husband, if around the time of 9/11, 2001, they were missionaries in the Philippines, and they were kidnapped with a bunch of other people, and they were Christians, and it tells their story about being around their captors and being Christian and all of that stuff. We actually met her at a Voice of the Martyrs conference. So it was very good, and the girls got her to sign, and all the other people that were talking there to sign that day. So it was very good.
Uh-oh.
10 Peas in a Pod. This is Plymouth Brethren. They were a family that traveled around the country singing and doing music, and they traveled in this little car and truck, and it's the adventures that happened. Their family also memorized a lot of scripture, and
Tons.
like they could memorize the whole New Testament. And
one
so
of their kids knew the whole Bible.
one knew the whole Bible. It's a very interesting book. I would suggest it to anyone, even if you're not Plymouth Brethren. It's a very fun read. Okay, Jungle Pilot. I'm going to put that over here. This goes with Jim Elliott, Nate Saint, Roger Udarian, Ken Fleming, no, Pete Fleming, and who was the other one? And McCully. Thank you. I was like, there was another one. Never Touch a Tiger. I don't think there was anything wrong with this book. It's Wycliffe Missionaries, which is the same. They like do Bible translation and stuff like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it's going to the thrift store because I don't think we'll read it again. Courage of Sarah Noble. This is just a good reading book about a girl in pioneer times. The Unlisted Legion.
Okay, that's Jock Purvis, who did Fair Sunshine up here, so probably got there. Another story of Christian martyrs and people persecuted for being Christians.
Okay, Alone Yet Not Alone. It's a story, a real life story about a girl whose family was killed by Indians and then she was taken captive by the Indians. And being a Christian, they've actually made a movie too. Alone Yet Not Alone.
Yes.
So, very good book.
Very good.
Hearts of Fire. This is by Voice of the Martyrs. It's about 8 women from the underground churches and their story. Gracia Burnham did the foreword, which was the one who wrote In the Presence of My Enemies. Good book. This book doesn't belong on this shelf, so I'm going to put it on another shelf. Just going to go down here for right now.
Trees of Maine.
It's just Trees of Maine. Nobody else wants it. The Wright Brothers. This is another Christian group that puts out books. So The Sowers, if you can see that. This is the only one we have of this series, but we've read others from that series. That one's about the Wright Brothers. Our catechism books that we're going to give away. Understanding Genesis by Jason Lyle. Virginia had that signed, so definitely that should stay here. Another book that goes in this pile. Falling Flat by Danny Faulkner. Does Faulkner work for...
Danny works for Answers in Genesis.
Answers in Genesis right now. And he wrote a whole book about how, as Christians, the idea of a flat earth has led many people to question the Bible in some ridiculous ways.
The earth is not flat.
The earth is not flat, it's round. Okay, Jesus Freaks. I'm going to take off this pile. It goes along with the Voice of the Martyrs, but this is the original version, and then this was like the women's version.
Yeah, a pile of really short stories, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Christians.
Our 13-year-old has read this. Our 10-year-old has not. It might be too much for some 13-year-olds. So just know that that is kind of intense. It's people getting killed for their faith.
Yep.
Okay, Ultimate Proof of Creation is another Jason Lyle book, and Discerning Truth is another Jason Lyle book.
Discerning Truth is about logical fallacies and how to spot them in argumentation. Ultimate Proof of Creation is exactly what it says. It's presuppositional apologetics.
Going into that pile, we also have the Introduction to Logic book by Master Books by Jason Lyle. It came with a DVD, so that's going to go there. What?
There was a big squirrel sitting on top of our
And, hold on, I have another. This Jason Lyle book, Taking Back Astronomy. Woo! Taking Back Astronomy by Jason Lyle tells about how creation can be studied, like the cosmos can be studied by Christians. Some people think because astrology is a bad thing, where you read your star signs and know whether you're a Capricorn and all that stuff. That is all witchcraft type stuff. But astronomy, where you're learning about the stars and the universe, is a good thing because God made all of that. So that's his book on that. And then I misspoke earlier because I said we did not have any more from this series, but we also have Christopher Columbus. So there we go.
We only got through 2 shelves and it took us 34 minutes.
Okay, so we've got a pile of stuff that will... Oh, this one's not going. This is Princess Adelina. It's an old book. What, 1500, 1400?
Maybe it's set in like 700s.
Oh, okay. So it talks about this princess, and it's really interesting. The girls love it. This is our giveaway pile. We'll go through the giveaway pile at some point and tell you when it's okay to start commenting. Not right now. But here's that first video. So I guess this decluttering video is going to be multiple days because I still have a bunch more shelves to go through. So, but look how much space we made on our shelves. It was a good thing. And I hope that you guys have gleaned some resources that we like to use that maybe would be helpful for your family. While we were doing that video, Virginia put the baby to sleep. And now we're going to go make lunch. So we will see you guys in a little bit.